We believe in quality is everything, customer experience and customer service is everything. We always realize it doesn't matter what you sell. If you sell it with quality service and you bring a smile to it, you can do anything.
What's up, everybody? Welcome to another episode of the Born to Tint Podcast. I'm Ricky. I'm glad to be with my big brother, Josh. How's it going, everybody? Today, we had a really fun conversation with Chad with Bake The Cookie Shoppe right here, local Vegas cookie shop. Talk a lot about entrepreneurship, and he even brought us some cookies. Check it out.
Cool. I don't get to do this too often. I'm usually mixing dough or rolling stuff and running cookies around.
Well, it definitely, I mean, obviously, one of the reasons we reached out was the conversation we had with Vegas Valley Cleaning. The fact that he just kind of reached out and, you had an opportunity.
Super cool, man. I love that guy, dude. Man, I love entrepreneurs who are out there hustling, getting it in the beginning. We've been there. So he reached out and he's like, hey, can I come through and just, show you what I do? And, for me, I've taken so many shots like that. So you can't help but respond and try to give him some kind of way.
Yeah, no, he was, that was a very fun conversation for us, especially just because, his ambition and him going after the things, even for the fact that buying multiple businesses and his mentor literally tell him, don't do that. And he's like, you're going to fail. And he's like, all right, watch me. Let's see what happens. Hey, but the only way you're going to learn though, is by taking that shot and do it again and again and again and learn from it and keep growing.
Absolutely. Absolutely. No, that's part of the journey. You got to take the swings or else you'll never make it. Yeah. This is number 9.
I was going to ask you before cookies, what did you do before that? And then what brought you to, from what your page says, you're looking to grow a $100 million cookie brand.
Yeah, that's the goal. Honestly, I was a sales rep. Been in sales most of my life. My dad was a car dealer. I grew up in the car business and then kind of evolved from there. Just kind of went to corporate sales, B2B, which is kind of our I would say our ace in the hole of what we do. I would say, anybody can be a cookie brand, anybody can make cookies. It's more the experience that you bring behind it and the packaging the packaging and whatnot is, a big factor to what we do. Yeah. But
so when you started cookie, it was 23 was when you had brick and mortar, or when did you?
So our brick and mortar started about a year ago.
Okay.
It took us about a year and a half to build out. I didn't know what the heck I was doing. We signed the lease a little gung-ho and didn't realize what went into it. We got an empty shell and it took us way longer to build out permits and all that process. Just, we didn't know. Yeah. And that, fortunately, we got through the window. We were paying rent for a year. It was terrible. We built this business out of our house. We did most of it door to door, just door knocking, kind of like Valley View. And we just drop off the cookies and hope that, the product speaks for itself, and that's kind of where I came from, that B2B sales world, where I was like, I've sold internet communications where you're getting thrown out of the door. This was easy. I walk in with a cookie. Hey, I'm just delivering you guys some cookies. Check it out. Yeah. And it's a lot easier process for us. And honestly, it worked. People started doing corporate orders with us, and it gave us, the fuel to keep going. We did that for about a year, and then luckily we had that engine rolling while we were building out our shop. But it was literally just eating. It was just, feeding it just to pay the bills and keep it running. And then once we got in there, our only plan was to only ever do cookies, and we never really planned to do much more. We wanted to kind of keep it very narrow, but honestly, as you got to evolve, things were getting a little stale. Business wasn't growing as fast as we anticipated. And my partner, Twan, he started coming up with some really cool flavors. And my daughter actually did the Dubai cookie. And then we did a Dubai heart. And that went kind of viral on TikTok. And then all of a sudden we had people really coming in real fast. And then someone was like, do the strawberries. And we're like, all right, let's do it. And it just went out the door. We had lines wrapping, and then Keith Lee came in and just set us on fire. It was already we had lines going on, and then Keith Lee came in and it was just gone, nonstop.
So how fast did you make the move to open a second brick and mortar?
So we just opened that about 5 weeks ago. So we're in our soft open phase. We're still kind of figuring out. We launched a coffee menu there, and it's a little bit different experience. Our other stores are more of a take and go. That's an actual eat it there. We have tables and whatnot. So that's about 5 weeks in. So we're only about 2 years. We launched it right at the 2-year mark.
That's awesome.
Yeah, little gung ho, but we saw a crazy opportunity to get into downtown Summerlin. So we had to take a swing. It's a corner location, 95% built out, which is prior to what I was saying. Like our building a shell took us 1.5 years. This took us 3 weeks to turn it around.
Oh, that's awesome. So
We ended up
much better experience then.
Oh, absolutely. And if I could recommend that to anybody, go to a second gen build if you're going any route that way. If you can do it, like that's a big thing. Just avoiding 95% of that build out cost is huge.
Yeah.
Like the people that were there spent some serious money in there, and we got the opportunity. We ended up buying them, which allowed us to acquire their permits, and I basically could just rebrand it and reopen.
Oh, that's awesome.
Oh yeah, that's huge.
It saved tons of time, which we were able to immediately start recouping.
So like cookie wise, what separates you? Like,
Well, I would say we do the core stuff really well. And then we have an Asian influence. My partners are Vietnamese. My wife is Filipino, and they have just definitely sprinkled little things into there. So I would say our best sellers are our ube crinkle and our Oreo milkshake, which is kind of why we're here as a cookie shop. We went to Dessert Wars. We put ourselves up against 100 other dessert shops in Las Vegas, and we took third. So we were like, let's just take a shot at it.
Nice.
We were at a crossroads of like, hey, do we keep going with this? Or, we have 5 partners, so it's hard to sit here and justify, it took us 5 years to get here, so we haven't taken any money out of it. It's been feed the system, keep it going. And now it's finally kicking. We all are supported by it now. So,
that's sweet. So do you do like matcha?
Oh, we're working on it. We have a matcha at our new location. We have not launched it or anything like that.
But as soon as you said Asian influence, I was like, that makes ton. I got teenagers, and like that's that's everything right now.
We do this pandan, which is another really popular flavor. It's like the green. But we do have matcha stuff, but we have not done a matcha cookie. But we're about to do matcha drinks at our Summerlin location now that we have a coffee menu there.
Oh. So I saw on one of your posts 255% growth from, was it January? You posted that in January. So
that would have been last year.
So last year, that's when the rocket took off.
That was what's crazy is it's been about roughly that every year, as we've gone. That's awesome. And then from there, we've 10x'd now, and now we're pushing.
So just from what I've heard you say so far, it sounds like your thing is quality, and knowing that from sales, like if I go out and give these out and people love them, they're going to come back and buy. And then social media kicked in. And if people really love something and push it out on social media, that was like the flame to the fire.
Absolutely. 100%. We believe in quality is everything. Customer experience and customer service is everything. I worked at Nordstrom's, and we kind of infused that into our experience. We all come from Verizon Wireless too, which gave us a lot of just, high volume experience with a lot of customers. Yeah. So you know how to handle bad situations, good situations. And we always realize like, it doesn't matter what you sell. If you sell it with quality service and, you bring a smile to it, you can do anything, honestly. You don't have to be the best at the cookies. You can sell a mediocre cookie, but it helps if it's really, really good, know? And luckily we have, being in sales, when I see people eat the product, I know, you see it. Yeah. You're like, oh, that's working.
And that gives you even more confidence to sell it because you're not selling
100%
crappy cookie.
100%. I believe in my product. My team has built an amazing product. And at being the sales guy, I'm the one who kind of goes out there and pushes it. Like I never had seen people react to something like that. So I was like, we got something, guys. I think we got something. And everywhere we went, it was just like, no, go your own way. We almost bought a franchise. And that franchise is about to probably go out of business. So we were like, thank goodness. Yeah. Like we had papers drawn. We were ready. We saw the numbers and we were like, let's just go our own way. Let's go our own way.
Oh yeah, especially when you have a product that you have, like the one thing also like caught you saying is the belief in your product too. That makes
100%.
sales easy.
Oh, I'll give it to anybody. You either like it or you don't. I'm okay with that.
Yeah.
But, I know there's probably something in that bag that I'll get you with, like, oh, that's good. You know what I mean? We have a pretty good variety of set, and it's like, we spend our time on researching it and trying it. And if we all if it ain't right, we will not put it out.
How many different flavors do you currently have, and do you rotate through? Is there a weekly cookie, or? Because I know that's a thing out there. Is it a set menu that you have, and you're adding to it occasionally when you find something that works, or?
Kind of all of it. We started rotating really fast, trying to do it weekly, and it was just too much for us. And people kept getting mad when we'd pull stuff off. So we stick to a monthly menu, and we keep 4 or 5 core flavors that would just generally never pull off. And then we try to rotate in 4 seasonal.
Okay.
So this month we got pumpkin spice, a triple chocolate with I think M&Ms in it as well. And then 2 other ones I forget. It's starting to get a lot. I think we have 9 flavors on this month. So.
Pumpkin spice, that sounds good.
Yeah, it's a big seller, especially seasonally right now. It seems to be working,
Yeah, as soon as fall rolls around, everything pumpkin goes crazy.
Yeah, exactly. And that's kind of what it is. Try to stay seasonally aware, trying to keep, fresh. Now that we've been at it a few years, we have people, expecting certain flavors to come back in this time. So it's okay. But I think we're at 25, maybe 26 flavors in total. My partner's always working. My wife works on them as well. They're always contemplating and trying to figure out new stuff. They love it. So it's really cool when someone really enjoys what they're doing too on their end, and you can see it in the work,
Yeah. Now you said that you have 5 partners. Now, when it comes to how you guys are growing and scaling, how does that work with you 5? Is it you guys? Because for us, it's me, him, my sister. My mom and dad are the ones who founded the company. They're not part of the day-to-day operations anymore, and really not really a part of much, but they are still they're still the owners of the company, to where when we make any decisions within the company, we could use it pretty much like a board of trustees. All 5 of us are there, pretty much 3 yeses, it's a pass, we move forward. And obviously if it's the wrong decision, we backtrack and we'll go back and switch it. But is it something kind of like that, or because us doing it like that, I've got the experience of having 5 different voices in one room. Can be problematic sometimes, but also
how aligned are you guys?
Yeah.
Do you find yourself agreeing a lot, or?
No, it's funny you say all that. Is that we went through a lot of this in the very beginning, and it was, it's 5 chefs in the kitchen, and we're all sitting there.
Literally.
It was eventually we all got to a point where it was okay, let's just designate. And fortunately, it's me. I'm in charge of most of everything, and then we all just downline, So ultimately, if we can't collectively make a decision, we'll lean on my gut or what it is. But ultimately, it's me and Trung who are the decision makers, and we just constantly bounce things over. You know what I mean? So if we all are usually it's if I'm headstrong on something where I'm you guys, this is what we're doing. Yeah. They usually kind of agree with me, and we'll just poke at me and, poke the holes until I'm either change my mind or I'm okay, no, I'm sold on it.
Yeah.
But it was just too much when it was this or that. So we just designated, one person on this, and basically my job is vision, growth, and sales. And I handle the social media. We're trying to kind of offset the social media here and there. Just I need more help. It's getting taxing. You know what I mean? It's a full-time job in itself. It's 100%.
Oh yeah, no. That's where we got really lucky in the fact is, as when we first started doing this, the podcast was solely for content and just trying to get out the different aspects of our industry that people don't know about. And we were able to hop onto a program with Ryan Pineda. He put out a podcast program where it's come in, use my team, use my studio. And he had been bugging me forever to hey, we need to do a podcast. We need to do a podcast. And it was always for me, it's logistics. All right, I know you're saying we need to do this, but what are all the stuff that we need? We're going to need cameras. We need mics. We need I don't know any of that. We need to do some research on that. And it's when that opportunity popped up, we jumped on it instantly, and we were able to go that route and use it for that. But that was our first kind of jump into like, all right, with this, we'll get at least one piece of content a day and we can stay consistent with that. And then now we've built it up to where we at least, I think it's about 2 or 3 different pieces of content we push out a day. And we were very, very fortunate that when we phased into bringing it in-house after we built this place out, is Jordan was my graphics and ClearBrawl installer, and we've been best friends. We've known each other since we were like 11 years old. He's like, hey, I went to college for video editing. Like, I know Photoshop Premiere, and I was like, that's right. And then beginning of this year, I phased him over to where it's like, all right, you're not installing anything anymore. Now he runs the cameras. He coordinates the posting. He does our social media because that's a full-time job. It's how much that goes into it. It's crazy.
It's awesome to be able to bring in somebody in-house and internal who already understands your business too.
That's everything. He could go install, so he really understands every aspect of the business. So
100%.
Making that content, it's super helpful.
Oh, absolutely. No, that's huge. That's huge. We try to do that as much as possible. But it's, sometimes it's just very difficult, Yeah. But you're fortunate if you can get a good one.
Yeah, because when we were using Pineda's team was great, but it was obviously they knew social media editing and stuff like that, but they didn't know the small nuances of our business or our industry, nor did I expect them to anyway. But as soon as he took over, it's like he's seen us work through projects. When he first started working for us, he was my prepper, and I taught him how to do flat glass. And it's like he knows everything about that aspect. And then also he's been in the shop past that where he was doing graphics. He knows everything about that. Then I had him installing. So yeah, him knowing all the different small aspects of our business and knowing the industry, because he worked for me during the summers when he was going to college. So, and then he went full time when he got out of college. So, I mean, he's been with us 16 years, right? Yeah, so it was like that by itself. Like for me, it was a no-brainer. It's like he's like, it took him a little bit just to get freshened up on Premiere, just because he hadn't used it in so long. But with all the tools available now with Chat GPT and everything, YouTube, like hopped on to YouTube and like just like, I just gotta get my hands in this. And as soon as after the first 2 weeks, he was good to go.
YouTube University is the key,
man. It's huge, man.
Yep.
We live in such a different world, man. It's crazy.
Access to information is wild.
Yeah.
It's exciting. It's wild, but AI is changing.
How old are you?
40. I'm 39.
Okay, yeah. So I'm 40. I'm about to be 41 in a couple of days. It's like we're like that generation that remembers no internet. It's compared to what we have right now, it's crazy.
The other day, it's like you guys have everything to you. It's wild. The access is wild. We used to have to go to the library, legit.
I think we all take it for granted, like most days. And every now and then I'll sit back and think about it and be like, man, it's wild. I remember thinking like we were never going to be able to stream videos on our computers even because it was so crappy. Now you can just stream whatever you want on your phone. You can send out a live stream from your phone. Like, that's crazy.
We worked at Verizon Wireless, and we were there when the iPhone came out, the very first iPhones. And then we were like, we watched our world change in front of us. Like, we went from this flip phone thing to like, we can see you now. It's wild.
Yeah. That's why I love talking to entrepreneurs, because it seems like entrepreneurs realize the opportunity, and the opportunity has never been better in human history. Mm-hmm. It makes me so frustrated when people say how bad things are, and it's like, I mean, that's one way to look at the world, but really, there's the most opportunity for the most amount of people ever right now. It costs $0 to start an Instagram. It costs $0 to start a YouTube. Especially if you already have a phone, you've got a camera that's quality enough to record like a Hollywood movie.
The quality is insane.
Yeah, I mean, you have everything you need right at your fingertips if you just have the motivation and the will to do it.
I think the generation below us is a lot lazier, which I think that's just natural. As things are easier, people just get softer and easier. Yeah. But the hustlers are going to clean up.
Oh yeah,
you're going to mop people.
Have you seen that Dana White clip of him saying that? If you're even remotely a savage in this younger generation, God. you're going to clean house.
You're going to destroy.
I mean, you're kind of already seeing it with the Gen Z, like the younger kids. Like my kids are teenagers, and I've got a couple younger than that. There's a good chunk of them that are starting to they're checking out of a lot of the wasted time stuff and realizing the opportunities there. But I think it's because there's so many people sharing such good advice. There wasn't podcasts How many podcasts are out there right now that you can listen to a successful entrepreneur tell their story about how they hustled and grinded and how much hard work it was in detail in hours long conversations? And you can hear that over and over again from multiple different people. It's like in the past, pre-internet, you had to be lucky enough to have somebody in your life that put that spark into you. Maybe a coach or an uncle or a parent or somebody. If you didn't have that person in your close social circle, you weren't ever going to hear that. Now everybody's got the opportunity to hear it.
Yeah, if you're not, you're just tuned out. You know, you're into something else. You know what I mean? You're rejecting it completely at that point.
Or the algorithms got you stuck in a little bubble. But you can get out of it. Like I've seen people get out of it. Man, I was in a pretty nasty social media bubble 10 years ago. And I look back on myself then and it's not a different person.
It's crazy, huh?
Yeah. It's crazy.
Oh yeah. Even say what back before the podcast and everything, it's like someone to get the spark to motivate you, but then beyond that, the mentoring too. Like you'd have to actually go find someone and actually get into their circle and then, you know, be mentored by them. Now you don't necessarily need that. You have so many different podcasts that are out there that like, if you want to learn business, you can learn it very easily for free. And then beyond that, hop onto YouTube too and learn almost anything you want.
And I mean, fortunate for you guys, I think I'm probably similar. You grew up in this business. You watched it being built. You know what I mean? I grew up in a similar world. My dad was a car dealer, so I was every weekend, you know, get your butt on there and wash some cars or do something. You know what I mean? So I think that helps, you know, being around it. But yeah, like you said, now you can just everywhere.
The shop was our babysitter, and that was probably the best thing in the world for us because it gave us the firsthand view of watching our dad just come in and grind every single day. Like he was never off, in which as being
mom too, she would help run the business and then she'd go work grave shifts at Vaughn's.
That's true.
That's how the business made it the first however many years. If she wasn't working that grave shift job on top of helping do the books,
pay the bills,
business doesn't even survive, you know?
100%. No, we're in a similar story. My wife kept us running while I was doing real estate. So basically I stopped everything and we were like, hey, I'll focus completely on this. Because we launched during COVID and she got called back to work. She was supposed to run this whole thing. This is her. She was like, I want a cookie shop. I'm like, all right, let's get a cookie shop. I'm all for it. You love this? Let's do it. I'm the business guy. Let's do it. And then I saw it and I was like, I'm not dropping this one. Like you go back to work, keep us running. I'm going to focus 100% here. So she had a good job, kept us running. And thank goodness, but it allowed us the time to get it, to kick over the hill. And I don't think most people realize that if you're launching, you better commit to 5 years. Like if you expect to take money out in the beginning, you're going to sabotage yourself.
100%.
You don't have enough to kick over. It won't happen. I mean, you may get lucky. I'm just saying. But what I'm saying, generally, I've heard it from most of these people. My friend here in town, they have V Entertainment. And she was talking to me the other day and she was like, hey, we've been at it about 5 years and all of a sudden I feel like it's getting easier. She goes, and I was like, well, why is that? And she said, because I feel like all my competition came and quit. They came and tried it and they got excited. And at first I used to get defeated by that. But now it's like, oh, if I just stuck at it, which we did, and you outlasted all the competition. And it was just by law of like, hey, I'm just going to beat it to the road, you know, all day long, every day.
Yep. No, I think that's everything in life too, man. If you can be consistent and be tenacious and just don't quit, you're eventually going to figure it out because you're going to have stumbles. You're going to have failures along the way, but those are just lessons. If you learn from them and keep going rather than quitting, you're going to win.
100%.
It's anything. It's sports, it's business, it's marriage, it's everything.
Yeah. We're at the threshold of barely making payroll. So many times, like in the beginning, you know what I mean? And you're like, how do you figure this out? And it's the grind of, you know what I mean? Whatever it takes, we're back in it. You know what I mean? 100%. And it's wild to see like where we've come from and to see the competition that we've outlasted now, even in town. It's like, I've watched Crumbles open and fall. I've watched Craves come and go. I've watched them all. But, you know what I mean? I'm paying attention now that I have time and I can see them. They're starting to put their places up for sale and things like that where you're like, oh, you know, we're still going strong. And I'm seeing their numbers and it's like, oh no, they don't have a business.
Yeah.
It's like you're in survival mode.
Yeah.
And now you understand it. And it's like, but it can happen to anybody. I mean, we don't think that we're not untouchable. We think at any point we can have someone take it right out from under us. And it's like, so if we don't constantly reinvent ourselves, constantly stay on this focus and stay top of mind with social media, we're going to get beat. Social media absolutely changed our world. Like if it wasn't for TikTok, we would not be here either.
So have you looked at all, and I'm not sure how it works for food, but this live social stuff, you know Gary Vee, you follow Gary Vee at all?
I was listening to it on the way over.
Okay, so have you been on Whatnot or any of that yet?
I downloaded the app.
Okay.
That's all I've done.
So I've been on there quite a bit playing around with what Gary's doing on there. And if you can do food on there, I think something like high-end specialty cookies would be a fun thing to do. Like I'm
gonna research it.
Yeah, I think it would be a cool thing to do where you could do like a special event where literally people can they can auction, or you can have it ready to purchase or whatever, where they're some special that you're only going to make this one time. Or I mean, you could do all kinds of crazy stuff on there. Too. I'm not sure if you can do food, but if you could, I think it'd be fun.
Yeah, I didn't do enough research. I downloaded it because I kept hearing the Whatnot. Usually after I hear it a few times, I'm like, let me check this out.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, it sounds really
It's crazy. If you have a community of people that are already following you on social and you can drive them to an event on there, I think you'd be shocked at the engagement that happens and the prices stuff will sell for, because people got to have it. And when it's like a 15-second auction, people just start clicking buy, and all of a sudden something that should have sold for $20 sells for $40. Like,
I'm down to try it.
Yeah.
No, I'm gonna definitely be researching.
I think it would be fun. Yeah.
I launched that day.
So you said B2B has been a big thing. So you were going around to businesses. How does that work? You're doing like kind of like catering where they can buy a package? Yeah.
This box right here. So I would just walk in, drop this off with some business cards. We have a little spiel in there. And this has evolved. This is generation like 6 of our boxes. But once we had some established packaging, we would do this a lot.
Oh no, there's cookies in here.
We'd drop it off, and it's what we do is a little more, we think elevated. We try to individually package, and it enhances the experience a little bit longer. You don't have to feel like you have to try everything, eat everything at one shot.
That's smart.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
No one really wants to eat a whole cookie all the time. You know what I mean? Maybe I want one today, maybe I want one tomorrow.
Oh.
You can throw these in the fridge, freezer, they'll hold. But when you get it like this, it's just a little more of a wow factor.
This is a nice touch. The fact that they're individually sealed like that's crazy. And I ran this morning, so damn, I'm probably going to be eating.
You run too?
Yeah.
Were you running the marathon?
No, right now I'm training for a 5K. I've run marathons. I've run ultras.
Nice. I'm training for an ultra too.
Yeah. Oh yeah? Which one?
Speed Goat. I did the 28K just recently.
Okay.
And fell on my face. Had to take naps on the trail, but got it done. But we're going back immediately that night. We signed up for the full 50K.
Oh, cool. When is that?
July.
Ooh, I might do that with you.
Come on, let's go.
Right now I'm training for a 5K in November just because my daughter's running cross country.
I love it.
And she's so fast right now that I'm like, you know what? I haven't even attempted running a 5K hard in a really long time. So now that I know how to train for one properly through like helping her train, like that's what I've been training for. So like I literally did like 5 by 6 minute threshold intervals this morning. So I ran pretty hard this morning. I can definitely afford to eat a cookie today.
I didn't.
But yeah, so I'm going to run something fast, maybe do the Vegas half marathon in February.
Okay.
And then I did want to find an ultra to get back into going longer next year. In July sounds about right.
Yeah, it's a fun one.
Where's it at?
It's in Salt Lake.
Okay.
You go up and down the mountain range, like the ski slope twice.
Okay.
Basically, it's like 11,000 elevation gain.
Oh, that does sound fun.
Oh, it's
To a point.
It's considered the hardest 50K in the country.
Okay.
So,
All right, now you got my attention.
yeah. That's why I was like, if I'm gonna go out and do it, I want to go out and get my face smacked by something and say I did it. And then if I want to keep going, I know what I've gotten into. That's the worst of it. So.
And I got into ultra running like in about 2018, 2019. I'm trying to get into Western States.
Seriously?
I ran my 5th qualifier this year. So
seriously, way cool, man.
Yeah,
That's way cool.
Yeah, I got him into it. Now he's run way more than I have.
He's pushing it.
Yeah.
I love it. I love it.
I kind of dropped out of it for jiu-jitsu for about 6 years, and then
We train too.
yeah,
I'm pausing it right now for this marathon.
that's whenever I'm really training to run, I have to stop training jiu-jitsu because I end up having calf issues. I play too much half guard.
Where do you train at?
Ingo Jiu-Jitsu. It's a Cascal affiliate.
Yeah.
And then our flag glass manager, he's a black belt. He's got AE Jiu-Jitsu.
Okay.
He's a Cascal black belt.
AE?
Yeah.
Armando. I know him.
Armando?
Yeah, I think so. I think
Yeah.
he might be my wife's like cousin, family, or
Oh,
something.
okay.
I know
Yeah.
that the people who own AE or whatever are like friends of our family.
Yeah. That's
I forget names, honestly. I'm real bad about
Yeah,
it. We met a
Armando.
few times. So,
Yeah.
but yeah, I trained at Pohada Training Center. I'm only a little blue belt. After we launched this, I couldn't train much more. But
Yeah, I'm a 4-stripe blue belt, and like right when they were about to give me my purple belt, Worlds was coming up, and I'm like, can I do Worlds one more time? They're like, okay, and then I did that, and then I immediately started training for a 100-miler with him, and I just kind of stopped going to class. So I was like, I wasn't in a rush to get my purple belt, but once I start going back consistently, I'll get my purple belt pretty quick, I feel.
oh, heck yeah.
Yeah.
I love jiu-jitsu.
Oh, it's so fun.
The community's great. People are great.
The only reason why I trained for a little bit, probably about 10 plus years ago, and I haven't gotten back into it only because of the running. When he first started his journey, he kept kind of trying to get me to go with him, and it's like I can't risk my legs right now, especially as soon as I started qualifying.
Yeah, some gung ho person put you in a footlock.
Yeah, that was the biggest thing that always scared me. So I've been able to. I ran the Rocky Raccoon 100. That was my first 100-miler, and then I've done Tahoe, the Tahoe 100. I've done that twice. And the main reason I went up to Tahoe is because I wanted to go after the more difficult races.
Heck yeah.
Yeah. So like, I want to do Leadville eventually. I'm hoping, obviously, I get pulled this year, and I'll be running Western States next year. But if I don't get pulled, I definitely think we should go I'll go run that.
That'd be fun.
Yeah,
that'd be super
that'd be
cool.
fun.
We're
Yeah, in July,
baby step our way up. Our goal is to hit the 100 too eventually. So.
Salt Lake
That's
won't
what
be
I
too
did.
hot in July either, huh?
It was wonderful last time.
Okay.
It was beautiful. It was sunny, but cool in the morning. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It was a little cold start. It felt great.
Yeah.
Like I was in shorts and t-shirt. I was chilling.
Yeah.
I did the same thing. I walked my way up. I started with, he was in ultras at the time, and then I just wanted to do a marathon. And then I signed up for Running with the Devil. It's a local.
I've heard of it.
It's a fun race. I did that in 2019, and then like I never had a goal to go past that because he was so much in my ear about ultras. I was like, I just want to do the
You're all
marathon.
preaching.
Oh,
Yeah. Well, we're born to Tint because of the book Born to Run.
I love it. I love that book too. No, that's crazy.
yeah. As soon as I got
funny.
into it, it was as I was training for that. I listened to Goggins' book, listened to Born to Run, and then so like I heard everything about ultras from him, and then also listening to the books. And then as soon as I ran that first marathon, it was like I had there was like probably like a 7-year-old guy that I crossed the finish line. He followed right behind me, but he was running the 50K, so he had his drop bag, and then he had to go back out and come back in, and like. I was done. I was spent. And I was just like, all right, I want to know what that feels like. And then I signed up for a 50K. And then I went to the 50-miler, 100K, and I just worked my way up. And then this past year was the first time that my qualifier wasn't a 100-miler. I found a 100K race in upstate New York that was, I thought was about an hour away from my wife's cousin's house, and it was about an hour and a half. But it was close enough to where we could go spend some time with family after the fact. And like that was a fun 100K race because it was in the middle of August. And thankfully, they had a dry year. So there was at least 4 to 5 different creek beds that usually have water running down them, but they were bone dry. So I didn't have to worry about my feet getting wet. Because that was the only thing that scared me was like I brought extra shoes just in case. They were packed in my drop bags too, because it was a point-to-point race. And that was my first point-to-point.
Oh,
and
okay.
It was a fun race, but you were soaked the entire time. Like there was, at not one point, my shirt wasn't, you couldn't take it and just wring it out just because of the humidity.
Goodness.
But it was fun, you know, but
What'd you finish with, like 3 minutes to spare?
maybe 2.
Seriously, it was cutting close.
Oh, yeah.
He was almost the last person. There were 2 people finished after you.
I wish I would have actually waited because as I was coming up on my last like quarter mile, I was watching my watch and like I knew how much time I had. I was like, all right, I had like, I think about 10 minutes or so. And I was like, all right, as long as I just kind of keep plugging along, I'll be good. And then I stopped seeing the flags and it concerned me because I made a right down this like newly plowed power line road. So I called my wife. She was at the finish line. I was like, can you ask someone how long I'm supposed to be on this road? Because like I already went like almost a quarter mile and I hadn't seen a flag yet. So I knew there was a problem. Tried to talk to someone that was running the race, and he was like, for some reason, the one guy that she found was like, oh, I'm not sure. I'm like, dude, you're running the race. How are you not sure about this question? So she found someone who just crossed the finish line, put her on the phone. And as soon as I told her, I was like, hey, I came out of the canopy and I'm going down this road. She's like, no, you should have went straight across. As soon as I heard that, I doubled back the other way. And I went from I was at like a 17-minute mile, just like I knew I was going to get done. And it was like, all right, I have to actually run now or I'm not going to finish. I'm going to miss the qualifier. And I just spent 20 hours, not for nothing. It was still a fun experience, but not get a qualifier. And I can't put in for this year. So all of a sudden I was running at like about a 10-minute pace. And that's the craziest thing for me going to those distances is the adrenaline dump at the end of those races or in certain moments where like, you don't feel like you can move anymore. And then all of a sudden you're put in that panic state. And then you're able to all of a sudden like, oh, I'm running a 10, 11-minute mile when I couldn't do that for the past couple hours.
Right.
And I was able to find the trail. Thankfully, they had the trees marked with paint with that whole trail system because there was a guy following the last two people because I was 10 minutes ahead of them pulling the flags. So they didn't have to clean the course.
Oh, God.
Yeah. So
you almost lost it anyway.
So I found it, ran up, and as I came up behind him, he was like, how in the hell did you get behind me? And I was like, I went off course. And he was like, as he saw me running, he was like, dude, you're good. Keep running how you're running. I was like, how many more turns? Because now we were doing switchbacks. He was like, you got like 2 more turns. You'll come out of the trees. You cross the street. Finish line's right there. So I blew past the last 2 people that when they finally got across and the guy that was cleaning the trail got across, he goes, all right, you look like you have a story. So I told him what happened. And he's like, dude, I'm pretty certain those other 2 finished in time because of you. Because when you blew by them, they were not moving fast at all. And then all of a sudden they had this extra jolt of energy and they picked it up and they crossed like with like 30 seconds to spare. But it was, definitely a wild finish. But it's like whenever I tell anyone or people find out, it's like, you run 100 miles or 100K and they're like, you run that? I'm like, whoa, pump your brakes. It's walking with style for about half of it. Okay. There's some running. I definitely am running some, but there are plenty of points where it's like a 25-minute mile and you're contemplating what you're doing in the middle of the woods and trying to figure out why you're still doing this. But it's been a fun journey to say the least.
I can't wait.
Oh, it's a blast.
I gotta get a taste at least. Gotta try it once.
Whenever you get up to the 100K or 100-mile range, Javelina.
Javelina is awesome.
Javelina 100 is a blast. It's a 20-mile loop. It's down in Scottsdale, right?
It's just north of there.
Just north of Scottsdale.
So you just can run loops and then
and it's a Halloween party too.
It's awesome. Yeah,
so really,
people in costumes at the 10-mile mark. The aid station out there has a dance floor, a bar. Yep. So a lot of times people are finishing their last lap. They'll actually stop and drink and then finish their last 10 miles.
Yeah, I took a shot.
It's a blast.
Really?
Oh yeah.
Jeez.
Oh yeah. Most of my 100-milers around mile 80, it's either at my aid station or where my crew is, or like, because even in Tahoe, they have a skier shot when it's like, you're about 8 miles out from the finish to where you can. They pretty much they have kegs on tap constantly, and then at that last little 10 miles shot, they're like, "Want a shot?" I'm like, "Yeah." Yes, I do. Because it's not going to I'm already spent right now. It's not going to hurt me. If anything, it's going to make me feel a little better. Let's go, load it up.
The ultra community is so fun. Yeah. Just being at those events is fun.
It looks wild, but it looks around so many committed people to doing cool shit. Usually they have cool stories and do cool stuff too. So.
What got you into running? How long you been running?
Honestly, it was a friend of ours. It was my partner Trung. Actually, one day he was like, "Hey, you want to go hike this mountain?" And I was like, I guess, let's go. Showed up in just my night golf pants and everything. We landed at the top, and it was 17 miles, and I was dying. And I was like, bro, that was kind of fun. I don't know why we did that. But I was like, I just was totally unprepared, but it kind of just evolved from there. And I was like, I don't know, just the idea of conquering little peaks and stuff. So we started hiking, and then I get bored hiking. So I'm like, I'll start running down. And then from there, just the trail running just became what it was. We were hiking. I just got bored. I don't want to get down this mountain. I'm ready to go on to something else. So it just evolved from there. And then somebody signed us up for a marathon in LA and figured that out. And then now it's just been, we kind of we enjoy the trail stuff. I'll do trails
trails
all day. I hate the road,
awesome.
to be honest.
Yeah.
We're sponsoring the marathon, the Las Vegas Marathon. So
Okay, I was just about to say, you got to be going out and doing stuff with all the local races.
Yeah. So we've been able to bring it back. Originally we started as a trail company. We were making the gaiters for the shoes to keep the rocks out. That's how we started. Our company's actually called Trail Gators. We do business as Bake The Cookie Shoppe.
Okay.
That was me and him. It was a side project we started, and then we started the cookies, and we saw everything. We're like, let's take all the money from that. Let's just go to this, and we'll just focus on this. And we just kind of put Trail Gators to the side. We're like, eventually we want to do it, go back and do it, because people use them and we see them. We're like, hey, let's just put them back out there. And we want to. And eventually we're going to do do Trail Angel stuff with this. So we'll pull up our van and just, people hiking the PCT and doing things like that. We want to do that. So my partner, he wants to do the PCT soon. So we'll try and figure that out eventually here.
Yeah. I think you should go talk with Mark at Red Rock Running Company and do deals at their races. They're constantly doing races out here. A great way to just community engagement and get the cookies in runners' hands, because after they just got done running a race, everybody's okay with eating a cookie.
Well, you say after the race, I'm already contemplating it'd be fun to do an entire race,
or do a cookie mile. Maybe do a cookie mile with Red Rock, where you got to eat a cookie every 400.
Well, I'm thinking do an entire race fueled.
That's content
by cookies.
I was thinking about trying to run with these, but I have the worst problem with running. That's what happened to me. I'm the 50K, the 28K or whatever. I fell on my face. I was dead. I couldn't eat. I was throwing up. Had to take naps on the trail. And just now I've started eating Rice Krispie treats just constantly, and that seems to be okay. But I don't know. I just suck at the eating out there.
The biggest thing for me, where one of the things that helped me get into running was the fact that I love eating. And I was just I was trying to lose weight, get healthy. My son was born in 2018, and that was where that was the real trigger. I signed up for that marathon December 13th, 2018. That was the day that my son was born. I was holding him in the hospital, and I was just all right, no more excuses. I need to better myself for him. I was already trying to do that for my wife, and it's just holding him. It was just I signed up instantly. I was all right, there's no more excuse. I got to do this. So as I got into the running, obviously I used the running for the excuse, dude, I just ran 30 miles this week. I can eat what I want. And I just kept kind of building on that. And then when I got into the ultras, 10 miles from my house, I'd go do a 20-mile run, because trail racing or trails for the races, I train on roads at least half, if not more than half, depending on what kind of distance I'm doing, because I like the ease of just walking out my front door. If I go 10 miles that way, I have to do 10 miles back this way. And there's I can't just bail out of the run. So I had a route where I would run from my house and I'd hit Pink Box. I'd grab 2 donuts. I'd eat 2 donuts, and then I'd run the last 10 miles.
He seriously did that for a while.
But I will contribute how I ate like that, though, to where knock on wood, I've never had problems with fueling during races. Now,
good after eating the donuts?
It just, I got my stomach used to being able to eat crap, technically.
He did the Beatty backyard ultra, which actually Big's backyard's happening right now. I was watching it this morning. They're on the 78th lap when I woke up this morning. But he did a backyard ultra in Beatty where we brought out a couple boxes of Pink Box, and he'd come around and eat a Pink Box donut.
Well,
I love it.
Well, you definitely get to the point, and thankfully I've been able to at first I started off with my fuel was crap. I was eating stuff like that. I was doing gels a little bit here and there, but Oreos, and it's just I was using it as an excuse, hey, I can eat this because that is burnt an obscene amount of calories. It doesn't matter what I eat right now. It's I'm still going to be in a calorie deficit. I'm never going to be able to gain this. So that built my stomach, I think, while being able to do that while running. And now I've gotten to the point where I try to stay as clean as I possibly can for as long as I can. But as soon as I feel like I'm hitting a wall, this past race was the first time that I ever went to soda. Because I was losing so much water by sweating so much because of how humid it was, I finally got to, I think it was around mile, probably 40 or so. I got to the aid station. I was just Coke. And I filled I had a 20 ounce soft flask. Filled it, slammed it. Filled it again, slammed it again, and then just start grabbing some Oreos. And I went for the quick sugar because I could feel that it's like, I have not been eating enough. I need to eat some. And as soon as I actually got all that in, I was able to pick my pace up, and it's like, all right, I made the right call. It definitely was. I wasn't getting enough calories in. So, and every time I do one of those distances, because it's not like I'm doing that like once a month. Like I've only passed 100K, I think 8 times. I've done 4 100-mile races, to where it's every single one of these races, I learned so much from it because I never cross that threshold unless I'm doing my race. My farthest training run is usually maybe 30 miles if I'm at peak training for a 100-miler.
What's my volume you think I need for a 100-miler?
It's for me, when I first started running, I was looking at my miles, and then I actually started buying running programs from getting from Zach Bitter. It's about time on your legs. So time running, and then your heart rate itself. So the biggest volume week I've ever had was when I was just kind of training by some things I heard, some things I read. I peaked at like 120 miles in a week.
But you don't need to do that.
No, I severely overtrained.
That's pushing it.
Yeah. It depends how far along you are on your running journey.
I see.
How fit are you?
Yeah.
It should take you several years to make it to that kind of volume.
I rushed to it a little too quickly.
I'm at like 35 to 40.
Yeah.
So that's perfect.
Best rule of thumb is really like in any given like section of time, you don't want to increase more than 10% a week. But really the bigger rule of thumb is you should really be increasing about 10% annually. Because if you increase 10% weekly, you're going to increase way more than that over the course of a year, and you're going to get burnt out. So like annual 10% is what most professional runners and coaches that I've been following now over the last couple of years of helping train my daughter is like, if you're running on average 30 or 40 right now, you probably don't want to increase that by more than 10% cumulatively the following year. But it really depends on you too. Like everybody's different.
For me, what I found with hopping to Zach Bitter's plans and everything, it was at the peak training, I'm at 13 and a half hours on running. And then it's a lot of heart rate. So I was doing pretty much sprint work and not realizing it, and really pushing my VO2 max every single day. And then when I started actually training with an actual plan, it was like, everything is almost recovery except for 2 days. And then, and the 2 of the days were
pull way back on that.
So that's the other big thing. The intensity matters a ton. Yes. So right now I'm training for a 5K, the like most dialed in training I've ever done ever. And just in the last 90 days, my fitness has increased. Like I can't even believe how much it's increased in 90 days because I'm following what I've learned through helping coach my daughter. For sure. And it's like, it's like, easy Monday, zone 2, like don't even let it get near the top of my zone 2. And then I'll do like a interval session on Tuesday. I'll do another real easy zone 2 on Wednesday. Thursday's another interval session, and I mix it up. I do like 6 minutes on Tuesday intervals, then I do 3 minutes on Thursday. And then Friday is either like another easy run or maybe some type of cross training. I just been keeping it with an easy run, but you could mix that up with like cross training. And then Saturday, some type of interval speed work, maybe. And then long run Sunday. So it's like, but at the end of the week, 80% of it was easy. Really? And so it's like most of the time, most people are training too hard too often. And that's what really causes fatigue.
Probably was going on too.
Yeah. Cause once you start being able to run, like, and you can run without having to stop and walk, and you feel like you're good. If you're not tracking your heart rate and knowing where those levels are, like you're probably in that gray zone of like you're running too hard and you're really not getting any extra benefit from it. Whereas you really like, especially for ultras, your aerobic system's everything. I mean, for every distance runner, even milers, building a big aerobic base is everything. Yeah. And then they spend a short amount of time going faster. And as they get closer to like a peak race, they'll remove some of the volume and replace it with a little bit more intensity, but your body can only handle that for so long. And then they'll take like a week or 2 off at the end of a season and then do it again.
How do you track your intensity? What do you guys use to walk?
Yeah, I'm probably about to
or the
Coros.
The Coros.
I've been using Apple Watch, which their heart rate's actually really good.
Is that the newer one?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's really good. Even though I had the older one, it's really good too. But ultimately, I think I'm actually probably about to switch. My daughter has been running a Coros for the last almost 2 years. The interface with the app, and then she has the heart rate monitor that's on the arm, which is just as accurate as a chest strap, but not nearly as uncomfortable. Yeah, the data the Coros gives you is so high level.
Really?
Like what it's telling you to do is what, like, it'll let you have 3 weeks in a row where you increase intensity, and it'll track your training load and let you know how fatigued you are, how like everything, give you all your different zones of training based off your max heart rate, which for her, we've actually even done lactate testing, and its estimates of where everything should be for her is like spot on.
Really?
And then if you have 3 weeks in a row that you increase, it then tells you to have a week where you deload. So if you are going to increase 3 weeks in a row, the next week's probably going to be a little bit of a back off. And that's another like old school training methodology. Some of the coaches now are saying you don't necessarily need to do that, but find a level that you can stay at for a while. But the Coros, I think, is probably the best one out right now.
And it's accurate for the heart rate.
And it's improved. I have had a Coros now for, I think 5 years. So when they first came out, it was the one I bought mainly because I was following Zach Bitter so much, and that was what he was using. So I was like, all right, I'm just going to mimic this guy. This guy's got world records and he knows what he's doing. So I mimicked that. And I feel at first the heart rate was always a little off. It was always kind of projecting a little higher than what it really was, because it constantly is updating software wise. Now I feel like it's like spot on. And especially with all the new monitors, I have the arm one too. And I have another little piece that I put on my shoe.
That tracks your cadence and
tracks
your
my
power.
I see.
So, but yeah, and the main reason for the big switch, I was using Apple Watch to begin with, is that the Apple Watch doesn't stay charged long enough. And then
This one does. The old one didn't. This one's pretty good.
It's the newer one. Yeah.
Well, no, not for a race.
That's what I mean. Because that's where I ran into my first issue with my first time I ran Tahoe, and I had a Coros, but I had like I wouldn't say it was entry level, but it was the Pro, and it's supposed to last 36 hours, if I'm not mistaken. And it died on me because I didn't take into consideration the light turning on and off, and then also it was tracking me the whole time. So I didn't even get my full race logged the first time I did it, which severely pissed me off because I think it was like 104 miles, and like I had stopped at 93 because I had to pause it because I was hitting the back end of the race, and it's like I need to be able to actually track my heart rate and my pace, and it's like I had to like stop it, and there was like about 2 or 3 miles that, not knowing your pace and not knowing your distance, every turn you make, thinking like, oh, the aid station's going to be right there. You turn and nope, it's just another long stretch across the end of the mountain. And then you turn again and it's like, you finally see the aid station. You're like, all right, finally. And not being able to keep track of time absolutely sucked. So I ended up bumping up to this one about, I think 2 years ago. Oh yeah, it was 2 years ago. So it was the second time I ran Tahoe. And this one stays charged for 120 hours. So
solid.
Yeah. So if I ever wanted to attempt which I will eventually, like Moab or Bigfoot 200. Yeah. So I eventually want to attempt one of those. And it's like, now I understand the importance of having the watch just to keep track of your pace and know how much. All right. So I got another 2 miles to the aid station. If you don't know how far you've gone and you have no idea what your pace is at the same time, like it screws with you mentally.
I bet.
Even in race, like I'm sure, in that 28K you did, you probably went too hot and heavy early.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
For sure.
And like the longer the distance, the more crucial, like starting easy is so important. Like if you let your heart rate get too high too quick, your lactate starts building up in a way that you're kind of shutting the aerobic system off. And now you only have the anaerobic system. So now you're predominantly burning sugar. So you're going to deplete your glycogen even faster. And especially if you're not eating on the run, like you're done for. So,
that's what it felt.
But if you look at what the top runners are doing now, fueling on the run's kind of the big unlock that just happened. You see the guy that just broke the record for Leadville, David Roach? He's like a professional running coach. He's run a bunch of ultras, but he's never been anything special. Then he realized cyclists are doing like 150 grams of carbs an hour for cycling. And he's like, I'm going to start playing around with that. So he started playing around with it in his training. And he's like,
I just started trying it with those Rice Krispies. And I use like one of those carb drinks, REI, I forget what it's called. But yeah, I'm trying to hit around the 100. And from 0 to this, I feel a million times better.
Oh, yeah. He said it's like crazy. Like, and he just went and broke the Leadville course record 2 years in a row now by like a lot.
Yeah.
And he was just like a middle of the pack average, like good runner. He's run his whole life. So he runs like 5Ks and 10Ks really fast. But like he wasn't like anything crazy when it came to ultras, but just changing his fueling strategy. And he's using a lot of gels because they get 150 grams in an hour for 15 hours straight is Like
hard.
it's a lot of Rice Krispies.
Yeah, that's what I've been noticing. Like I was like, man, the gels just don't. I'll try it again. It was the first few times I've tried them. I don't know if it settled well.
So there's newer gels out right now that I want to start playing with and trying. That's what he's promoting. So the gel technology has gotten way better than what they've been in the past, where they're a lot easier to get down and not as gooey.
Yeah.
I think he's using what is it? It starts with an M. Martin. I think he's using Martin's.
Yeah,
because I think those are a
sodium
lot. Those
too.
go down a lot better and digest a lot better. So a lot of these guys are using those.
And just make sure you're playing around with the fueling while you're training.
Yeah.
That's
Like,
what.
yeah,
That's what I've been trying. I just did it like 13 miles the other day with it, and I was like, okay, finally, I feel. Right after. Normally, I can't eat. I don't want to eat anything after a race. I can just like, don't touch me, leave me alone. I just go sit in the corner.
You should develop a cookie that's your specific fueling
I
cookie.
gotta say, content. This would be fun to do content to like a cookie per mile.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, that's great content,
I haven't
too.
tested that one out, so I'm not going to try it on Sunday.
Oh,
Yeah.
that sounds like that'd be fun for me.
Yeah.
Hey, you say
is
when,
it
I'll
decent?
supply the cookies.
Yeah.
Something like that.
That'd be
Because
fun.
I think that's been my
I
biggest
think
problem.
a cookie mile, man, would be.
I love it. That sounds like a good idea.
That'd be killer.
Last man standing or last person to puke.
Yeah,
Just because at some
Either
point,
way.
depending on how you're training.
No, I don't think he wants video of people
Well,
puking.
I mean, if you're on your 20th
It'd be
mile, you've
funny.
eaten 20 cookies.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
I don't think it's not the cookie that's causing it. It's
Right.
you ran 20 miles while eating 20 cookies.
I've
Like-
seen those Taco Bell runs, so I'm sure we can do something.
Yeah, I get with Mark at Red Rock.
No,
He's
that's a
really
good
cool,
idea.
and he's always running local events. I'm sure he'd be down to do a
That's a
cookie
good
mile.
idea.
Yeah, no. See, for me, like every time I finish a race, like this was the first race I finished that I didn't want to crush food, but beyond that, like my first 100-miler, when I finished that, we were in. It was just north of Houston, and then me and my wife stayed in Texas, and we drove up with one of our good friends to Dallas, and it was like a 2.5-hour drive. As we're going up the highway, instantly I see a McDonald's. I'm like, go! I got 2 20 pieces, a large fry. 4 hot and spices, ate all of it, passed out for an hour, and then we got to his house. It was Super Bowl Sunday, so we had pizza, we had wings, and then a bottle of tequila. We each finished a half bottle of tequila, me and him, and then I think a half a pizza and a whole order of wings. And I felt pretty good after that. I mean, the biggest thing is like the next day, my body's now gotten to the point where I'll rebound in about a week now.
I was gonna say it'd take you about a week to come back.
Yeah, and to where it's like, in a week now, I'll actually go out and run. The first 100-mile, it took me a little bit of time. The worst one I had was it Javelina? No, I think it was Javelina. My shoe was tied to. No, it was the first time I did Tahoe. I was stubborn, and that's one thing I also learned. I've come to learn now. If there is something wrong equipment wise, address it right then. Stop what you're doing and address it, because
Like,
if you
on the long runs, and
because
Like if you feel blisters starting to form, stop and address it.
change your
immediately.
socks. You bring extra socks. Switch your socks out. That's something I've added. I switch socks out like every 40 miles, and I might
Really?
not feel like I need to. It's worth it. Wipe your feet down, get the dust off, put a new pair of socks on. It'll help your feet tremendously. And then also shoes. If you feel like there's something wrong with your shoes, if something's too tight, adjust it right then. I left one of my shoes to where it's like I didn't want to adjust because it's like I didn't feel a blister, but I just felt it was too tight. I think I lost the feeling to the top of my foot for about 3 months, like on my big toe. And it was just like, it just felt numb. And then eventually it came back, thankfully. But that was the only concerning thing I had happen with my feet. But it's like, I've gotten really lucky. I think I've lost probably maybe 3 or 4 toenails. And like, I've seen some people
I
where
got lucky. I only lost 3
Oh,
toenails.
last race, I saw a lady sit down and she took off her shoe and she was adjusting her feet. All of her toenails, those were all gone. Those were going to be gone at some point. Every single toenail was black, and it wasn't because they were painted. And her toenails her feet were destroyed. And it's like, I've gotten really lucky on that, my feet, to where you're going to get a couple blisters, but I've seen some people's feet where I'm just like, oh no.
Yeah, I made
that's
the
a problem.
mistake with too tight of shoes. I was banging toenails all the way down a hill once, like coming down the mountain. Yeah, and lost it. I was like, oh, never. I'm going a couple sizes up now.
What shoes are you
We
going
use
with?
the Ultras most.
Oh, yeah. I'm wearing my Ultras right now.
I usually
Actually.
have them on. Yeah, it's all we really run in, but the ones I'm using right now are like falling apart real quick. I'm using the Torn 8s on the road, and I'm only got like maybe 200 miles, maybe 150 miles, and they're already chipping away. I'm like, oh God, these are going to fall apart.
That's the one thing I have noticed with them. They do seem to go pretty quick, but they're so comfortable.
Oh, I love mine.
That's even what my daughter.
I love them.
I've had her trainers.
Need a fresh set.
I need a fresh
Her
set.
trainers have always been ultras, and everybody thinks she's crazy, but I feel like the zero drop builds such strong feet and ankles, man.
Now
And they
that
show
I've had it, it'd be
race
hard
in
to switch.
Nikes.
I don't know. Like,
I can't. It took me about 3 years to get to the point of, wasn't necessarily having leg problems, but it was, I went super minimal real quick. I went too fast, and then I added padding back to it, but I've kept the zero drop. And like, if I put myself in a non-zero drop shoe now, like if I'm not wearing these, I have Viva Bear barefoot shoes to where I
like those too.
Yeah, and that's where it's like usually when I'm working, I just have those on, and I leave. If I put anything on, like I've tried buying some like Nikes or Under Armour, just because when I come down to work, they get tore up real quick on the carpet, and it's like I really don't want to keep buying the expensive shoes. But as soon as I put those on, the last pair I bought were a pair of Under Armour shoes. After 3 weeks, I threw them away.
Is that bad?
All of a sudden my right knee started hurting, and that was the only thing I changed. Like my training didn't change. I wasn't over increasing my miles into anything. All of a sudden my right knee started to hurt, and I was like, nope, never again. I hucked them. And I was like, I'm either like, I'll switch to these because I'll get new training shoes. These are my runners. And as soon as they get tore up on the bottom, I'll get a new pair for running, and then I'll wear these to a point where it's just like, all right, now I can throw them away. But yeah, no, I couldn't go back to a non-zero drop shoe. I don't think I could. I built my legs for it now.
Yeah, it's been at least like seven years of the ultras. I don't know if I'd want to switch.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Although I think I'm about to get some racing shoes for this 5K I'm about to do. When I get the Nikes, the ones my daughter is wearing right now. I picked hers up after her race. She had a race the other night, and she took them off to put her trainers back on to go do a cool down. And I picked them up, and I'm like, ooh, it's like
the Alpha Flies or Vapor, whatever they call them.
Whatever the top ones are with the carbon plate. But it's like it's like a pair of socks probably weighs more.
You tried the Ultra Carbons yet?
She ran those last year. These Nikes are better though.
Nikes are better.
Yeah, I mean when it comes to carbon,
I got the Mont Blancs, but
when it comes to carbon plated,
I've got the Mont Blancs. I sent them back.
Did you? I just started trying them out.
The one did you get the one with the ratchet?
No, it's the latest one. I think I don't know.
That would have been that probably was
the
my
one
problem.
with the little. Yeah, I didn't get those.
That's probably what my problem was. Is I got those.
Boa.
And I ran in them. I did like two runs, and I could get my left one tight, perfect to where I didn't have issues. The one on the right, I couldn't get it to actually tighten and not have a hot spot on my foot. So it's like I did 2 runs and ended up with a bad blister on my heel twice. And I was like, nope.
Right.
So I instantly was like, nah, I'll go back to what I know. And like I usually will run in Lone Peaks. That's usually
that's my general.
My rate. Yep. And then I'll go to Olympia if it is a nice trail where I know I don't have to pay attention too much. Like I like the Lone Peaks. I feel like I feel more and I can control where I'm stepping better, or at least feel where I'm stepping, not trip on anything.
Yeah, some shoes trip you up.
Yeah. I don't like I don't like the super thick at the bottom. It's I feel like it's too heavy. I just don't like it. You know,
Biggs is currently on lap 80. 18 people left.
80. How long's the lap?
4.1. Every 24 laps is 100 miles.
Oh God.
Sorry, they're already in the 3s.
Oh,
the world record right now is 119 laps. And this race has like all the top people from around the world started this. I think there were 75 people to start.
Is it like just till someone
it's last man standing.
Last man standing.
Yeah, as soon as it's down to one person and they finish a loop on their own, it's over.
Those are fun races. I wish the Beatty Backyard would be brought up again. That was by Desert Dash. It's about it's in Beatty, so it's about an hour and a half, 2 hours from here. Got to run it twice, and it's just a fun race. Because as people start dropping too, and then you hit the middle of the night, it is a fun race. And I definitely would love to do it.
I hope they bring it back. If they bring it back, I'm doing it.
I'll definitely
do it. It's one to do.
It's a cool one because everybody's crewed up in the start finish area. And so the crews get to hang out the whole night. There's no like running to new aid stations. And they let anybody that wants to go out and run the loop. So like my daughter went with us, and so we ran a couple loops with them during the day, and then in the middle of the night, we went and ran a couple loops with him. Towards the end, actually, your very last loop, when I knew he was struggling, I'm like, all right, I'm going with you right now. And that was one that he just barely didn't finish in time.
Yeah.
That sounds fun.
Yeah, it's a good time. It's a good time.
Because I enjoyed that more because you get to see your crew constantly. So you have the support right there. And it's just like, if you're all right, I'm going to run this one hard so I have a little extra time at the end, and you get to play with that. Or is I'm going to finish really right at the cutoff, grab what I need, sit for about a minute, and then get up and go again. So
that's what these guys all seem to do. They like come in at like 57 minutes. Like,
do it quick.
Yeah, they don't want to be at the aid station too long. So the only time they'll come in faster than that is if they need to use the restroom or something. So they try to like conserve as much energy as humanly possible.
Oh yeah.
Does and then stay up.
Yeah, it definitely can. There are times that you want to, because like even the Tahoe race was the first race that I actually like probably slept 45 minutes altogether, but I took multiple like 10-minute naps where it's like my pacer, she was getting me going. And it's like, I actually like in the middle of the night, like on the trail, like I found a rock and I just looked at it. I was like, I gotta lay down. Like I'm barely keeping my eyes open right now. I'm going to fall asleep while running and I'm just going to eat it. I don't want to. You got to give me 10 minutes to
Have
where
you hallucinated before?
Or
Is it come on?
It's the biggest thing too, is at night, the lights screw with you, especially if you're like, so I have a chest lamp, which is like super bright, and I have multiple batteries with me so I can keep it on the brightest, because the more you're able to see, the better off you are at night. And I'll have a handheld too, or I'll have one on my head. So seeing the two lights cross each other, the first time it's either else I was hallucinating or it was just the lights, it screws with you too. And then you're just so tired. Like the crossing of the lights, creating two different shadows, that definitely messes with you. But Tahoe was definitely, 100% hallucinating, where you thinking like, I'm thinking I just saw an animal, and then I'm looking, I'm like, no, it's just a stump. That is a tree.
Oh, goodness.
Oh yeah. It's a
lot of mind wrestling. Like, no, that's
as soon as you get past mile 50 in my eyes, that's where it's all mental. If you've got your training in, you got your body ready, you know your body's going to be able to do it. Can you convince yourself to keep going though? Because there are plenty of times that you want to call it, and then all of a sudden you start moving, and you're moving at a good clip, and you're like, oh, I'm good. And that lasts like 30 minutes. And all of a sudden you have a huge crash, and then you go back up again, and then a huge crash. Like my first 100 miler, I got lucky to finish. He paced me, and if it wasn't for him getting me out of the last aid station on the loop, it was mile 76. I sat there for about like an hour and 10 minutes. And like in my mind, I didn't think I was gonna get back up again. He's like, what do I gotta do to get you up? I was like, give me your jacket. So he took his jacket off.
Enough cold weather gear. Yeah. So I ran out to I ran away from that aid station to go pick it up from somebody who brought it to us. So I was like a mile away at the road, brought it back. Turns out he only had like a long sleeve shirt, and I had a jacket from the Army that was like pretty decent. And so I was like, here, take it. And I took the long sleeve shirt instead.
Yeah.
And then I just got him to start walking. Like, all right, let's go.
One step at a time.
Yep.
Keep going.
Got me to mile 80, back to the start line again. And in my eyes, I'd already convinced myself, like, oh, I'm done at that point. Like, it's the furthest I've ever run. I'll chalk it up to it is what it is. And, I'll do it again next year. So we got there. And we had a car parked there, and it's like, I needed to warm up. I was like, you guys gotta let me sit in the car for like 10 minutes. Got in the car with the heat on, warmed up, and then they gave me 10 minutes. And then it was him, my wife, and one of my good friends. And my wife, to her credit, she knew how I needed to be motivated. Like, I don't need to be talked nice to you right now. You need to be an asshole to me. And they all were collectively being assholes to me. But it was what I needed. And like, he paced me, like me and him didn't even really talk about how to pace me or what I needed, but he already kind of knew what I needed, thankfully, because he's my brother and he knew kind of how I operated. He stayed a good 100 feet ahead of me the entire time. So he made me chase him the entire time. But that kept back,
like, come on, let's go.
Yeah. So it's started that last loop. And then as soon as the best feeling in the world while doing a 100 miler, if you do not finish in the middle of the night, if you just aren't that fast like me, is when the sun comes up again. Oh. When that sun hits you.
Oh, it's amazing.
Especially as cold as it was, like 34 degrees that night. It was brutal. That was the worst night of running of my entire life. And it was mostly because we were walking and not able to stay warm. It was
I didn't horrible. Take that in consideration.
But the sun came up, man. And it was like literally like I felt like I was in David Goggins' book almost, because he was ready to quit at like mile 70. And then sun comes up, and the last 11 miles, he just starts running, knocking them out.
Yeah,
like, It was pretty sick. Now I let him lead. Like I just stayed behind him while he was running the whole rest of that. It was pretty sick.
Yeah. It was where I really screwed up though. It was good though, because I got to finish earlier. Is I thought I had a 30-hour cutoff time. So as I got past mile 90, I started doing the math in my head, and I was like, I have to run a 16-minute mile. So I held that pace, and every time I could shave a minute off that, it's like, all right, I'm building some cushion for myself. So I finished just below 30 hours. And then on the drive back up to Dallas, I looked it up again and it was like, 32-hour cutoff. I was like, I could have had 2 more hours, but I got done and I was happy I finished. So, but but even getting into ultras though has helped me with business tremendously.
Well, I was going to say that totally brings back to the beginning conversation. Like it's just preparation for it's going to be hard and you're going to get kicked in the, you're going to fix one thing, another thing's going to break, and can you keep going?
Yeah. I think that's why me and Trung make a great team. My partner, is because we've done these hard things together. And it's like, you know what I mean? We've gone out and pushed each other and we've seen each other out there. And, I think makes businesses the same thing. It's the same thing. So this is just the game I like to play daily. Like I love this stuff. So it's like, it's fun to have a partner that, who we feed off each other, and we're both energized. And then our hobbies became part of it too. So it's kind of cool.
Yeah, no, as I got into ultra running, that is when my dad was already kind of at the point of phasing out of the business. And then in 2020, he had just the hard pull from it. He ended up unfortunately having a stroke in October of 2020 and, got through it. He has recovered and everything. But when that happened, it was like no longer like he was already pretty much letting us. We were already running the company. Like any decisions and stuff that had to be made, it was just like, hey, talk to Ricky. But I would still always call him because like he has the experience. Like we might differ on opinion when it comes to how certain things should be handled or run, but I'm not stupid. I know that he has 3 decades of it being in business over me. I'm never going to catch that. You know, I'm always chasing that. So it's like when that happened, it was like, now it's decision's yours. You got to figure it out. And like the first year, I would say, micromanaged extremely less than my dad did, because that was the only downfall for my dad, is he was the biggest fire to our company, but also the biggest blanket on top of it, dampening the fire, just because he had to have his hand in almost everything. And if it wasn't being done, like, hey, can you do this for me? And if like you took 60 seconds longer than his mind needed to get done, he just called and took care of it. And by the time I got to it, it's like, oh yeah, I just got off the phone with your dad. I'm like, dude, why are you asking me to do these things? Like, you're not having to it's not like I forgot to do it. It hasn't been 15 minutes yet. What's going on here? So I had to get past that first little loop the first year, to where I was helping and supporting everyone, but I wasn't letting anyone fail. And I realized, like, hold on, like the only way they're going to get better at their new position is I got to let them just do their thing. And hey, I'm here for support. If something does go wrong, obviously I'll come to me. We'll get it taken care of, but it's okay to fail. You got to learn from it. If you don't learn from it and you keep making that same mistake over and over again, we're going to sit down and have a conversation and figure out which direction we want to go from there and how we can help improve, make sure this doesn't happen again. But it's like, so after that first year, it was like, all right, I changed one of my lead installers to our auto manager. And then we ended up getting a flat glass manager, to where it's like, I can't have my hand in 12 different spots in the company at once. It's unmanageable. I only need to be talking to like 4. I can only manage 4 or 5 people, and then they need their teams below them. And then yes, they are going to have failures. Things are going to happen. All that matters though is that, all right, we learn from it. We'll put new SOPs in place to help mitigate this happening again. We'll have a meeting, get it taken care of, and move forward, and we'll keep growing. Like, but don't think that we're going to fail, and that's okay as long as we learn from it.
Failure is everything. Like, we face that every day, and kind of like what you're saying right now, I think, is we're kind of going through it. Like, we got to the wheels kind of came off as we expanded. So we had to come back and put them back on, re-go through the process again, see why it's not working and where the failure points are. But to your point on micromanaging, I think we're trying to figure out that balancing act of, we don't want to, but we're starting to have to kind of grab things and be like, okay, well, we've let it go too far. Yep. And now we literally had this conversation with the teammate yesterday, and they're like, Bake's not the same place it was 6 months ago. It's like, well, we're never going to be the same place.
Yep.
And if you're expecting this to be the place it was, this isn't McDonald's. You're not walking into that system. We're a startup in essence. We're changing every 6 months. And if we're not, we're done. Yep. We're not there yet. You know what I mean? I don't have scale. You know what I mean? It's just us. So it's like every day I'm sitting out here. This is version 1. This is, we're going to revisit this and go through it again, go through the SOPs. And that's a big thing for us right now is like, okay, is it documented so I can coach you to something?
Yep.
Because a lot of times ultimately I have to go like, oh, well, it's on me then. Like I'm getting mad at, X, Y, and Z because he didn't do this right. And I'm like, well, did I tell him exactly? And that's been an internal thing. Like we go back and forth. It's like, do we punish or who's at blame first? It's always us.
Yep.
And we got to fix that. And once we have the system and process in it, if they're not sticking to it, then we have a people issue.
Yes.
And then we can address that. That's a whole nother thing. And we have people issues. That's a hard another thing. That's in our stage right now, I think is the hardest thing is we built this side by side with so many of these kids and team members that you have a relationship a lot closer than a normal boss teammate or boss, manager in that way where like literally they helped me build my dream. Like it's really different. Like we were in the grunt together, 6 months ago, we were all making cups, strawberries cups, everything together. And we were all just running around in a panic, going out to dinner after and just celebrating, the wins together. And now we've gotten it under control. Now we've put the system together. Now it's smooth. We don't need as many people. And they're like, oh, you're pulling the reins back in. It's like, well, we can't bleed out.
Yes.
If it's my job to look for the whole. If I worry about you getting overtime, then everyone else, thinks it's okay. You know what I mean? Like I got to look at the whole system. If payroll's out of control, and I don't address it, we're going to run ourselves into the ground eventually. It's inevitable, and then we all don't have a job.
Yeah. No, that's where we definitely have come to a realization because after doing the podcast thing with Ryan and his team, he ended up shutting it down only because it just, Ryan is a serial entrepreneur. He has all the ideas in the world and then he executes. And if it doesn't work out or if it ends up being more than it needs to be, or it's not necessarily profitable or where he thinks it's going to go, shut it down. So he shut that part down. And when he approached us after that, we ran through the rest of our contract. And then he's like, hey, do you guys want to do a one-on-one mentorship? And like in my mind, I was like, absolutely. Because where we're at size-wise, getting any bigger or doing anything more, I have got zero clue. Like I know how to tint windows. I'm a window tinter. Running a business, like yes, we've gotten some bit. We knew some things about business, but we were trying to grow in that aspect too. So it was like, absolutely. And we ended up bringing him on. And it's like we sat down and ran through all the numbers and stuff. And then we started just pretty much, all right, these are our problems. What's the biggest problem that we can fix right now that the biggest impact? First for us was our offer, changing our pricing, restructuring that. What's your closing rate? Closing rate was way too high. It's like, well, you're not charging enough. You guys are booked out 4 or 5 weeks. Your consultations are we were like 2.5 weeks out on consultation. So we're starting to have cancellations because that's too far out. So we addressed that. And then we addressed operations. And now like right now we're in the phase where we're working on our marketing side of it to where it's like, then come to realization like, all right, we now fix this. Just because we fix it this time, by the time we run through all the other different processes, now we look back, oh, all right, we got to fix this again. And it's like, you're going to have growth, plateau, readdress, look at the whole system again. What lever can we pull to have the biggest adjustment right now? All right, let's tackle that. And now look at the rest of them and go through it. Okay, growth again. All right, plateau. All right, do it again. And it's a rinse and repeat cycle over and over and over again. Because like right now, like going into this winter, looking at our company from last year to this year, we are a much leaner company, but in the best possible way. Our crews are real tight. We have a great set of installers in flat and in auto. And then this summer, I was able to actually build out a subcontracting network to where if we all of a sudden have big jobs that come through, I already know the people I'm reaching out to. I reach out to them. I bring them in. They come in. They handle the surplus at the time. And then I don't have to bloat the company with bringing people on because the last thing I want to do is hire someone. And then all of a sudden, if we slow down, like, hey, sorry, I got to cut back your hours to let you go because this is the last thing I want to do. If I bring you on, I'm bringing you on, letting you know, like, hey, we got you. You're going to have 40 hours no matter what a week. And I'm not going to cut that back because I don't like that. Now, if you're coming on as a subcontractor, you know exactly what it is. It's like, hey, man, when the cup's full and we're overflowing, like I'll feed you as much as you want. You tell me how much you want to work and I'll book you all day long. But you do know that if all of a sudden this does start slowing down, my guys are my first priority. I make sure my team is taken care of no matter what. So it's like, it's been a fun experience. And then also just realizing that it's a business is business, numbers are numbers. And like, that doesn't change. It doesn't matter what industry you're in.
No, truth. to what your point is on that is like, the team has become the reason. Like, I think you come and you show up, it's like, we are all in this, like, together.
Yeah.
And it's, I'm so concerned about making sure they're taken care of and paid and, their growth. Like, we have them come and telling us business ideas and future opportunities. And it's like, it's super cool to see. And it's an amazing, I didn't realize the reward was them. Like, when I was building this, like, you're like, oh shoot. Like, we showed up building this thing to be like, oh, you want to be successful. You want to, do whatever for your family and whatnot. But it's like, all of a sudden you have mouths to feed that are not your own. And then you're hearing about things that they're doing in life. Like, we have a girl on our team that's looking to buy a home. And it's like, wow. Like, I didn't realize like that type of stuff's happening below you, or you're like, dang, you're impacting people's lives all the way down. Yeah. And it's crazy, but it's motivating and exciting to keep it growing and keep those plateaus so that you can keep them on staff. Because like you said, it killed me not to have you once I brought you on, because of something I could have maybe controlled or pushed a little harder or did my work better. It's one thing if it's against you're doing it against the company, and that's always there's a fair agreement that has to come to play here.
No, absolutely.
Yeah, that's one of my favorite things when we have get-togethers. This year we didn't do any like quarterly events, but we took everybody to the Tint Off, and having everybody get to come to that this year and experience that with everybody, it was so fun. But like when we've done nights games in the past, and everybody shows up with their spouses and their children's and their girlfriends or whatever. Seeing this giant group of like 40 people and being like, holy crap, like
this is us.
Yeah,
like, it's all of it. You know
like
what I mean? That's the family that's supporting the people that are behind you.
I'm not just doing this to like pay my bills and take care of my family. It's like all of these people are dependent on us doing the right thing to make sure this business is successful.
100%.
And look at how many people it's grown to. It's crazy. Like I remember when it was just my dad in a van. Like
really?
Yeah. And like
what do you guys
were the
at now?
helpers. 17.
Let's go. That's a lot of people.
Yeah. And it's like, our auto manager, he's worked for us. He's been with us for 18 years.
And longevity is huge.
Yeah.
Well, it's
most of your guys have been here for a while.
That's like you're saying. Those are the people that are going to be with you in 20 years that are at the beginning.
True.
That are appreciated even more.
100%.
Well, it's like even to the point, like, I think it was 2 years ago, a year and a half ago. It's like, it was at a point where we all had a conversation, and then we brought him in and talked to him and said, hey, like, we want to make you a part owner. We gave him 5% of the company. Cause it's like, you've been here for 18 years, dude. Like you've been through the grind and everything. And then also there's a company within our industry that's out of Hawaii. It's TNT Tint. And the guy started in 83. Is that right? 82, 83. And now he has retired from his company, but he handed the company over to everybody. And it's like, now it's owned by the people. And that was one of the things, like, even for our auto manager, like, it made sense in the fact of like, it's not like he wasn't putting the effort forward, but he's been there. He's been here for 18 years. And it's like, all right, I want to give you to where you got skin in the game. Like you're going to, not that he wasn't already doing a lot, but it's like, it means even that much more to him. Cause now it's like, all right, we keep building this thing, get it to where we're profitable. It's like, now you are getting rewarded. And when it comes to the long run, into the whole year, the game plan, what we were looking for, what we're looking for scaling wise and everything, is now you got skin in the game. And that's something where it's like, I even want to kind of keep that, or if anything, expand that eventually to where give people, and that was the one thing we always kind of had them, we didn't have clear cut lines to where it's like, all right, you're an installer. Do you want to be more than an installer? Do you want to get to the point where you're running your own team? Do you want to go beyond the manage? You want to go from manage to actually like operating the entire section of the company, to where it's like, as we kept scaling, we realized like, all right, we actually got to create these levels for people to where they know like, all right, I got to commit this, do this, and then this is what my reward is when I get to here. And some people are just like, no, dude, I just want to be an installer. I just want to make sure that I have work every week, that my paycheck's there, and be able to support myself, to support my family, which I completely understand. But then some people are like, how do I want to go higher? Because that's how I always was. Is like, I always went to my parents with like, this is what I feel like I provide for the company. This is what I feel like I deserve to get paid. And it was always, though, I never went to them. But at the end of the year, after we went through a year, and I was able to actually show the receipts of like, this is what we did this year. This is what I contributed. this is why I think this is what my value is. And then go from there. So we were able to implement that for pretty much the whole company, where even our installers now, it's all performance based. It always used to be time, how long you've been with us, how long you've been tinting, and then you would get raises each year depending on how much time you spent with us. And then we looked at it, it's like, I would rather have a performance based. I don't care how quick you get to that point, or if it takes you a long time, that's on you. It's just, you're not hitting the performance markers to get to that next level. You hit those performance markers, you could be with us for 6 weeks for all I care. If you hit the markers that you're supposed to hit and you're able to do this many windows, this clean, this quality, and you hit all the markers of how you're doing your customer service, like all you have for it, test at it, go for it, but that's definitely what helped us. It's helped us with scaling these past couple of years.
You're giving me all the right tips. I think we almost lost a girl who we didn't have a conversation with her. She's like, hey, you didn't give us my performance review. We were smack dab in launching things. Someone dropped the ball. I don't know where it was. I could blame my manager. I could blame me. You can blame, it's ultimately me. Yeah. I missed her call. And she's a great teammate. But because I didn't have the conversation with her, like, what's your path? Where do you want to go? And now we're trying to go, okay, let's make sure we don't lose the people like who we actually like and want to have on, who are great teammates, because we didn't have a 5-minute conversation with somebody. Yep. Where it's like it was devastating. It was like, oh shit, we had no idea you were feeling this way. Yeah. And it's like, oh shoot, well, damn. We realized like, hey, my role is to come back and talk to you. Yep. How are you doing every day? And check in and make sure that they're, like you said, and that's what we're having the opportunity now, is to spell out those tiers and those ladders internally. Yep. Like, we were like, you're a team lead, you're an assistant manager, but it wasn't like, well, what else? What does that mean? You know what I mean?
Yeah. What are the responsibilities with that role, and what's the next progression?
Correct.
Yeah, that stuff's crucial. And what appears to me, looking at other business professionals that I follow, and even just time in the military, having that very clear cut in your face, and the communication then of it, where like there's monthly or even quarterly evals happening, is so huge. Yes. Like even someone like Gary Vee, I mean, he's got like thousands of employees now, and he'll talk about how one of the most important things he does is he sits down and talks with everybody and wants to know what are they trying to do. He doesn't care if the person's only there as a stepping stone to go get another job somewhere else. All right, cool. Now let me help you do that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yep. And we've had people in the last couple of years that we've trained from the ground up. They end up have something come up where they need to leave and go do their own thing, or help a family member or whatever. Or maybe it's just they want to go try a different career path, that because we've had that exit conversation with them, that it's like, okay, cool. What if you need help with that, let us know. Mm-hmm. They've then come back and been subcontractors for us, when all of a sudden it's like, we've got more work than we can handle. And they're like, hey, I'll come knock out some cars or a house or whatever. And like keeping that relationship is huge. Even if they don't stay on, it's just as important.
Oh, for the exit relationship, I think is very important.
Yeah, I think a lot of people mess that up and are like, all right, you want to leave? Like, screw you, get out of here. You don't want to be like, nah, man, come on.
No,
like you built a relationship with that person, and like continue it. Like, even if it's not in your business and you're not going to benefit from it at all, I bet you at some point, eventually you will, just because you were a good person and like you helped that person out. Like,
oh, true that. I love it.
Well, I think it's about time to eat a cookie.
Yeah. I'd have to agree with that too.
Yeah, check them out.
Well, like I said at the beginning, we really appreciate taking the time to come by, have a conversation. I enjoy these conversations. Not to say I don't enjoy the conversations I have with the people within my industry. I enjoy talking with people out of my industry, because I get to talk business, and I also get to pick the brains of how you're scaling, the conversations you're having with your people. Because like even just having that conversation we just had, it's like first thing that comes to my mind is like, I've been talking to my people, but I need to have, I have been saying for some time, I need to actually have structured conversations, or actually set the time aside, maybe once a month or once a quarter, to where to have a sit down conversation, not a pop by, hey, what's up? Everything good? We'll make sure you're good. So that's something I need to action. But I always enjoy talking to other business owners just to see how things operate, how they communicate with their team. And I really do appreciate you stopping by.
No,
thanks for having me out, guys. This is an amazing platform for me to come out and learn from you too. Like this is cool. I'm going to go back and I need to do this, and this.
This is why we're doing it. I feel like the more conversations like this that can happen, the just better off everybody's going to be. And if we can help someone local in the community, is like, I said Born to Tint was from the book, but we really kind of came up with a brand identity of it. Is like, we were born into the industry. We're the battle-born state, meaning we want to help affect the local community. And this to me feels like the most powerful way to network with local business owners, have like a real conversation. And now we get to push this out on our socials and promote you to our customers and our network and vice versa. And just everything about it. Like I want to have more and more of these conversations. We're going to have you back on in a year after you run that cookie mile, man, and see how it goes.
I'll go get 100 done now that you guys inspired me, man. I'm super excited.
Well, I'll definitely be bringing some of these to my next race just for fueling purposes, because it does get to a point where I want to eat something like this, like no matter what. And by the looks of these things, and I'm also going to say the feel of it, because unfortunately when it comes to cookies, like I like how I can just feel how kind of like soft and like I can't wait to dig into this thing. So
let me know. Honest feedback though. Can't get better if you don't tell me the truth. If you don't like something, you got to speak up.
I'm about to finish this and then record us eating it and giving a review.
Oh yeah.
Awesome.
All right. Awesome. Well, appreciate you guys sticking around. Where can they find you?
Bake the Cookie Shoppe on all social media.
All right.
BakeLasVegas.com, either one.
Give them a follow. Go by, have a cookie. After this, we're gonna have a cookie and we'll put our review out. And until next time, guys, have a good one.
Thank you.
Sweet.